Hey everybody, so today we are ranking the draft archetypes for Marvel's Spider-Man and also through the Omenpath. Two sets with one name, whether you're playing in paper or you're playing on MTG Arena. So either one of those names will be interchangeable for this. So the draft archetypes, it is a smaller set, so the supported archetypes are the 5 ally color pairs. And so that is white, blue, blue, black, black, red, red, green, and of course red, white. We're going to jump into them and talk about the archetypes, then we're going to rank them, and then we're going to go ahead and do a practice draft and see them in action. So the first one is blue-white modified. So modified is any creature that has a counter, a equipment, or an aura on top of it, right? And so it takes creatures that are smaller and can build them up throughout the course of the game. This is really interesting when it comes to white-blue, because white-blue generally tends to have the most amount of flyers. And so when you're being able to build your creature up with either +1/+1 counters or auras that add power and toughness and combat abilities, this is really a runaway mechanic where this can kind of take over, and you're putting these you're taking the smaller creatures that you're playing as far as 2 and 3, 4 drops, and then later on in the game you're building them up even bigger so they can still compete with the larger mana drops that some of the other decks are doing. The blue-black deck is both villains and connive. Connive is draw a card and discard a card. If you discard a non-land card, you get a +1/+1 counter on your creature. So it's a way to build up your creatures. Again, the crossover in blue is going to be very important. It's a way to get modified on some of the mono blue cards for the blue-white deck. But the subtype is also important with villains. So there are the 3 main subtypes that are important to know are the spiders, the heroes, and the villains, right? And so blue-black is definitely the villains color, and so you can use these cards to kind of all work together. And this works especially good on a pick 2 draft where you're going in there and you're going to be able to pick, all the villains or most of the villains that are in a specific pack. You can go in there and make sure that you have that critical mass that you need to be supported. So if you have a card that says this card gains flying if you have another villain, right, you're going to need to decide, is that worth it if I only have 3 or 4 villains in the deck? If I have 9 to 12, all of a sudden you can reliably estimate that ability is going to be on all the time. So it's a interesting kind of way to play here. Spiders, heroes, and villains are things that you're going to have to be watching out for in the draft. Black-red is Mayhem. So Mayhem is an ability where if the card was discarded this turn, you may play it for the Mayhem cost, right? And so this means that there are other cards that say discard a card in order to do X ability, right? And so now you can discard a card, do that ability, and then pay a discounted price to play that card as part of the same ability. This is the most interesting archetype for a pick 2 draft, where you usually kind of have this balance between getting the enablers and the payoffs. But when you are picking 2 at a time, you can make sure that you balance those out by making sure that the early picks you have an enabler and a payoff all the time, and kind of keep that straight as you go through the draft. So I think it's really interesting, and see how pick 2 draft will change this archetype. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. Red-green are large spells, and so these are cards that are cast with converted mana cost 4 or greater. So in Final Fantasy, we had non-creature spells 4 or greater, and here these are just large spells. So any kind of spells that are 4 or more converted mana cost. It's going to be really important here to get some ramp to make sure that you're hitting those larger spells earlier in the game. If you fill a deck up with nothing but 6 and 7 drops and no way to get there, while it may sound like you have a really powerful deck, you'll probably lose the game before you actually get to the mana that you would need in order to cast them. So things like ramp are going to be certainly very valuable in a large spell archetype. Again, pick 2 draft means you could go in there, grab a large creature and a piece of ramp to go with it, and kind of assure yourself of being able to get there at some time. The last archetype is really interesting. This is green-white web slinging. So web slinging is a alternate cost that says that you can play your cards for a reduced cost if you return a tapped creature to your hand. Now, the most likely way a creature becomes tapped is by attacking. So if you have a smaller creature, like a 1/1 on the ground, tapping it to attack, it may not be there second main when you would be able to play your web slinging creature to be able to put it back into your hand. So you're going to have to lean on some kind of evasion or other ways to tap a creature besides attacking if you're going to consider using small creatures in order to do the web slinging. It also says something about the defensive speed of the format, where you're going to want to be able to get creatures out early so that your opponent are disincentivized from attacking into you and then pulling those creatures back and starting the web slinging. So now that we explained the archetypes that are available in this deck, we're going to go ahead and rank them. So there are a couple that I see that really stand out a lot. Modified does seem to be the archetype that we would like to get into if we have our chance. Being able to build up smaller creatures over the course of the game, especially if they have evasion and flying in white-blue, that seems like the top of the list for archetypes. So we're going to start there and put them in the S tier. Connive is less powerful, but it does seem to work well with modified, especially in blue. And something like villains is much easier to get a collection of, to get a high volume into your deck, rather than something like mayhem, where you need individual payoffs and individual enablers. So for that reason, I'm going to put villains, the blue-black archetype, I'm going to put that under modified and have that in the A tier. Mayhem, I have to be convinced, and maybe I haven't played with it enough to have seen it in action. Sometimes these decks end up being red-black removal, and while that is good, it's not going to keep pace with some of the things the other decks are doing unless you're taking advantage of that mayhem. If you're just using it as straight up black-red discard and you're not actually casting the mayhem, or you're not trying to get the mayhem, I think that's going to be a step behind. So there I'm going to put in the B territory. Same thing for large spells. I think this is a archetype that will pay off. The normal course of the game is going to run 9 to 10 turns. If you are dropping a land every turn for the beginning and then every other turn later on, you're going to be able to drop 4 and 5 drops much easier than you're ever going to be able to drop 7 and 8 drops, right? So make sure you're constructing your deck in a way that's appropriate, that you have early ramp, you have early attackers, early blockers, and then your large spells can kind of close out the game later. Don't rely only on large spells, otherwise you might not be in the game by the time your large spells start paying off. For that reason, I'm also going to put it in the B category. And web slinging. I think if you are looking to get into web slinging, please make sure you are prioritizing ways of tapping your creatures besides attacking. If you're only relying on attacking, I hope that the cards that you have are I hope the cards are good for their converted mana cost, their normal converted mana cost, because you might not be web slinging as much and you may be just playing these creatures out 100% straight. If the cards are still good enough for you, awesome, and I'm sure your deck will do well. But in the architects, this is the one that I am least likely to go after. You will see some of it in white if you are looking for blue-white modified, but it's not something that I'm going to be actively going after. If you hold on 1 second, we're going to flip over to a practice draft and see how these archetypes are shown in real life, and we're going to see how we do. Thanks. And here we are with the quick draft. So let's get started. This is a pick 2 quick draft, and we will make 2 selections at the same time. Let's see how this plays out. So this is a pretty strong rare right off the bat. 1 in the green for a 2/2. It creates a food when it enters, and other spiders, boars, bats, all of these kind of animals get +1/+1. I think that is a really good place to start. Looking at some of the other choices that we have in green, there's another 2-drop. This is a 2 mana 2/2. Pay 3 to get +2/+2. It means that it's very hard to block because there's a threat of activation. We could start with 2 green cards and be in a good spot. This is 2 mana for a 2/3. The in-web is larger, but if you go ahead and do it and cast it for the in-web cost, you gain 3 life and create 2 more spiders. Very good card. This is search for a basic land and put it on the battlefield shuffle tapped. So I think what we do is we take these 2 green cards early. We are a 4-person pod, so 3 more drafters, and we'll see if either of these green cards come back. The problem is that there's 2 of them, which means that somebody might grab both of them. So that is something to consider. But I do think that these green cards start you down a good path. And 2 really solid 2-drops mean if you get the larger creatures later on in the draft, you'll be in a really good spot. So that's what we're going to try, and I'm going to grab both of them. See, we do not have any green creatures coming back. That is something of an issue. We do have this Turtle. This is a 3/1 for 4 mana with flying, vigilance, and lifelink. I do like this. It does have an effect from the graveyard also. This is a 2 mana with flash, and you can tap or untap a target creature. Good effect to have. I don't really like this spectral restitching. City Pigeon is a nice card in the in-web deck, so that's something to consider. This is only okay. Flash, flying, and mayhem. I found it a bit underwhelming. A 2/2 flash means you're not really getting in there and surprise blocking somebody and winning that combat. So what I think we're going to do is I think we're going to take blue-black as the strongest pick in the pack. And then I think we're going to take the 1/1 flying as a nod to in-web. If it looks like green cards are just going to be out, we will look for this blue-black deck. But right now, this is a tough second pick. Nowhere near the quality of the first. So we do have a couple of green cards. The Citizen that just kind of cantrips and makes a 1/1. This is a 2 mana 1/3 trample. Whenever you play a large spell, it gets a +1/+1 counter. That is good. This is okay blue removal, but not better than that. This is nice white removal. This is a 5 mana 3/4, and it gives something jump until end of turn. So I do think we are going to be taking this sudden strike. The question is, I think we take the green card to kind of cut green. These effects kind of come around late. This is a fine effect if this is what your 5-drop slot is. You're a little underwhelmed, but it's not bad. We'll take this. Okay, this is a nice green 4-drop. I do like the land, to be honest. We have Free Strider Aces is actually pretty good. So I think we're going to pick up the green card for sure. This is a 4 mana 4/4. Create a treasure token when it comes in, and then it can't be blocked by more than one creature. The question is, do we take the land or do we take the Freestyle Aces? You know what? I really do like the land. Freestyle Aces is a good card. I would like one of them in the deck by the end, but I think I'm going to take the land. Okay. This was the original pack, and neither of the green cards came back around. So green is going to be at a premium. With that said, of your turn, target non-equipment artifact you control becomes an artifact with base power 3/3. We will probably end up taking this colorless card as a idea. This is 1 mana, sacrifice, put a +1/+1 counter, draw a card, and then you can sacrifice it to gain 3 life and draw a card. We can either take this, we could take the Aerialist and hope to not play it, or we could just grab this villain. We already have 8 cards, 7 playable, or 6 playable if we are in this white-green deck. You know what? I think we just take playables here, right? Red is going to be open. But are any, like this card is actually pretty good. Warden of the Silver Web Summit. Is that what it is? Yeah. We will take these red cards and see what comes back around, but it is not much. Okay. Pack 2. We do know that green was at a premium. So we definitely need to consider that. This is really good, but you need an artifact-heavy blue deck. So it's a little bit out of our reach right now. 4 mana, when this enters, create a spider with reach. Then you gain 1 life for each spider you control. Spiders have +1/+1 and can't be blocked with creatures with Defender. So it's 4 mana for a 3/2 and a life, and then if you have a lot of spiders, it also unlocks the rest. Okay. Villain. This is a conniving card. We have a Terramorphic Expanse or Evolving Wilds. This is the only green card, but it is a good one. And, you know, I think we just... So if we cut green here, right? Now we will be playing this land. We have 8 cards already. This will bring us up to 10 playable cards. Not a lot on the spiders, to be honest. In web, this is kind of a low value in web card. Gets it out early, but I mean, other than that, not much. It is a spider. Let's grab him and see where this takes us. Okay, again, we have the 2-drop that can grow. We have the web. Red is going around the table quite hard. We could be green-red. So we have 1 removal spell that really kind of draws us into white. This is 6 mana. During your turn, it's a 5/5. It has first strike. When it enters, it deals 2 damage to target creature and 2 damage to the controller. 6 mana, you're only doing 2 damage, or it's a little bit below rate. This is 3 mana to deal 3 damage to target creature in red, which would pair nicely with the green that we have. Yeah, so I think what we'll do here is we will take this and this. If we go into red, it will not necessarily be for just creatures. It'll be for some of the direct damage removal that they can offer. So we will go here. Okay, this is a very good 2-drop. We're not getting a lot of the larger cards, but maybe that just comes later on. These 2-drops that just grow later. Good, but we need to have a decent amount. Is this the kind of red that we would be playing, right? You could discard it. Target creature gets +3/+1 and becomes a dinosaur. Or you just play it as a big menace creature. It's 3 mana, 3/3 trample. Whenever you play a big spell, exile the top card. If you do, you may play that card until you exile another card with this ability. Okay, well, we're definitely grabbing this. And you know what? We can't be the only one cut off of green, so we'll just take it this way. And 5/4 with haste. Combat trick. An equipment that we're not going to use. Now here is a reason to be in red. And so I think we'll take this and the land and keep our options open. Okay, in this pack we have an equipment, +2/+2, and is a spider hero. Okay, does work with some of our spider synergies. I think we take it because it is colorless and we're not sure what we're going to do. We do have the regular 3 mana 3/3 with Inweb. Couple of things: 2-drop, 2/2 trample. Whenever you play a big spell, this deals 1 damage to the opponent, and then you can activate to put counters on this creature, or a 1/1 that we would not be playing. So we are definitely going to grab these two. We're still not sure if we are playing white or red, and I don't think either of these cards are going to make a difference in that choice. They will be playable if we're in that color, but they're not cards that pull us into this color. We will grab them because we do not have anything else. We're not going to get anything with this last pick. So let's look at what we have as we get ready to go into the final pack. Looking at colorless, this is really kind of white, otherwise you really don't want to play it. But we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 playables. We get an additional 3 if we're in white, and we get an additional, let's call it 4 if we're in red. So we are going to need to stake a lane coming up in this, but let's go ahead and dump these cards out first, and then we'll look at what we have. So whenever a spider you control enters, draw a card. This triggers once per turn. Very strong. This is a nice 2-drop. Yeah, a lot of green in this pack. I don't think we're going to get away from the Shroud. I think this is definitely what we're going to be taking. So if we cut the red, this is 14 cards. Obviously, we do have the land there. How many spiders do we have? Not a ton. Not a ton. This is also a... Oh, Principal Referee is really nice in white. We could go Cruel Caracal and the Shroud. So we're taking the Shroud for sure. And then it's one of these cards, and we shouldn't expect the other one back. We have a chance to get the Principal Referee back, but we shouldn't expect any of the others back. I like the Caracal a lot. If I had a lot more spiders, I think I'd be looking at the spider. I think it's the Caracal. Okay, second pick. Okay, fight spell in green. You could use red or green on it. It does destroy a non-creature artifact if you kind of trample over what it's trying to do. I think that is the play. We do have the flash, draw, or tap or untap. And we can turn some of these food tokens into 3/3s. I do believe this is worth it. I think we'll take both of them. We do want this Terramorphic Expanse, or whichever copy of it it is. We do want that. Okay, we'll take the Favored Fighter and look for a second card from this pack. There is a Shock, which is a good option. Infernus, search for a basic mountain. It enters, it gets +1/+1 for each mountain. We would not be playing enough. Okay, so let's look at this again. This is 3 mana to gain 3 life and draw a card. Or it's 1 mana and then white to put a +1/+1 on target creature, then draw a card, activate as a sorcery. Yeah, it's certainly a playable. I don't know if it's high impact, but that's okay. That's not what we're looking at right now. Is it more impactful than +2/+2 and gains flying? And the gains flying is really good. This is offensive trick, defensive trick, a little bit of life gain. You know what? I do want one of them. Wouldn't play more than one, but having one of them with these 4/4s, I think are really important. If somebody was in red, they'd be picking up quite a bit here, but unfortunately just not us. We'll take it, but it'll have to be cut. +4/+4, and it can be just green if it targets a spider. I think we'd rather pay something like Lively Leap than actually play this. Right now we're at 22 cards, so we are going to struggle for one more playable. Our curve ends at 4, right? So we would also consider cutting a land, but we'd have to have another playable in order to do that. We will take it. We will take Treat Trolley, but look to not play it. We will play this other 2-drop that just has some value later on in the game. And Shock last pick. That's not how it was meant to go, but that's what happens when red is mostly ignored throughout the draft process. Nothing else that we would really consider. We don't have enough to splash this Shock, unfortunately. We would have one effect that searches for a land, and that's it. Yeah, nothing else is going to search for a land. Would we cut a land for ramp? No. No, there's no reason to. Would we play another tap land just to be able to surveil late game? That's something. I don't think so. No. So this would tap for any color of mana. So this would just be 2 effects if we played this. 3 if we played 1 mountain, but I just don't think it's worth it. What we can do is, because we do end at 4, we can cut 1 land and play the tree trolley. But that would be all. That would just so that we can avoid being flooded. And let's see how this works. This is an aggressive, putting a lot of pressure, putting a lot of 2-drops on the board, and turning things sideways. So if the opponent wants to get a little too fancy and play things that are a little bit too expensive, I do think that we have a chance with these caracals, right? You attack with the activation held up, and then if they don't block, then you can go ahead and play something else afterwards. This is going to be a keep, but we will see what our opponent does. These would probably get in there for quite a while. And then with a pump spell, all the more so. Okay, so we'll play the 2/2. We'll pass. Our opponent is not likely to trade, but we'll go ahead and turn this to a 1/1. Okay. We'll play the second one and pass. This can block, and you can do tricks on top of the blocker to be able to get something out of the way if you needed to. This will have flying. Once it's equipped, but our opponent chooses not to do that right now, which could mean something. This could be destroy target tapped creature. Do we want to go ahead and put everything into this if they're going to destroy it? I think we attack anyway, right? We're not going to win sitting here. He blocks and then does the +2/+2. We'll give him flying. In fact, no, return target creature to hand. Okay. Okay. That is fair enough. Looking for the white mana. Get this pigeon going. Start attacking. He is going to be able to attack. Yep. You can tap this down. So do we put up a 3/3 blocker? Yeah. No white is going to hurt us if we don't get it soon. Yep. He attacks, blocks this down. Yep. Okay. No reach, and so we're not really threatening this guy. We could theoretically get this guy if we wanted to, but he's just going to move the +1/+1 counter over. So think we look at this opportunity to draw a card. We'll gain a life back and draw a card, and okay. Okay. Now, what are we going to do? We can't sit here forever. He attacks, taps down the creature with reach. But it means he can only attack for 3. Right? Can we attack for 2/4? This could be a 6/8. So, yes? Is the verdict there? Let's see what we have. Okay, he's going to put 2 +1/+1 counters. Obviously one here, one there, I assume. Yep. If he taps this guy down, we could go ahead and... He does not. Okay. Six, 8. So if he blocks with everything, we would be able to get 2 things off the board. But we wouldn't really want to. We can move this now. No, I don't think that's right. Attacking doesn't seem profitable here. Okay. So we have the late game threat. Does he attack? Okay, now which one does he tap down? Okay. Well, we now have Sudden Strike available. Attacking or blocking. Okay. Okay. We're hoping not a land, because a land will attach it to the target creature. Okay? It's gonna have 2 flyers. Yep. Destroy that. Take 4. So we have 2 blockers, but he's gonna have extra attackers. 5, 9. This will be 4. This will be 6. Gain a food token. Okay, so we can avoid that. Okay, does he take the time to block now? Okay, so this would end up doing 3 damage there. We could go ahead and pump this up. This would do 10 damage. He soaks up 3. This would do 7 to him. And no, not enough. He does get to put the 2 counters on something. Okay, hopefully he keeps putting it on all on one thing. Okay, we're going to look to soak up this attack and then counterattack with whatever we have. Now we do want him to draw land so that he considers drawing the 2 cards and not using the mana on anything else. Okay, he's only going to be able to tap one thing. So we do survive this turn. He taps down the spider. Okay, do we do anything there? Okay, so we're going to attack 3, 2, so we're going to attack 5, 9, so we're going to win on the backswing, right? So, pass the blockers, block here, and use this food tool. Gain 3 life, take 4. Create a food token. Okay, I forgot about this food token, but that's a little bit more breathing room. Yeah, we just go around him, right? We attack with everybody. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's a treasure token. So we attack. He blocks here. No. He has to give up. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is trample. Okay. Tougher first game than I thought it was going to be. A lot of math there. We did not have enough ways to deal with the flyers quickly enough, and our caracals did not get off the aggro plan, but we did end up pulling that out by just flooding the board and then eventually going around them. So happy to get that win, but not happy with the overall plan so far. Let's see how game 2 works. Now we have the white train instead of the green train that we had. This is a really long way to wait to get a green land. Opponent goes first, so we will have two shots at it. So I think we do keep. But this is one that could end badly. opponent has a rather difficult mulligan decision himself, it seems like. Caracal can kind of tie up your mana, but usually attacking with a 4/4 on turn 3, pretty good. So it's a good use of mana even if you do have to kind of use it. We do have turn 2 and then turn 3 make it a 3/3 without actually having to activate it as a possibility. But all of that requires green mana that we do not have right now. And we'll wait for our opponent here to decide what they are going to do before we see. Okay, no green on the first draw. We do need it on the second, but we'll have to be at the mercy of the top of the deck here to see if it's coming. Opponent double black, life link. Okay, did not get there. We're hoping our opponent is also on 2 colors and do not have the second color yet. This is way behind what we would like to see. We are still hoping to draw a green land. Okay, so we're limited to 1 spell per turn. We could play the lizard. So the lizard stops the attack. By itself. Okay. We would really like to see a green land again. We will take the opportunity to sacrifice the food when we have the mana available. It's only a creature that I could tap or untap. Well, I think we try to get in there. We certainly would trade. But we'll look to play another lizard and then see if we can catch him off guard. Operating on 1 green source is terrible. If this was untap target permanent, that's what we would do. We would tap it for green, then play it and untap another green. Opponent has to decide what he is doing. We can't sit here forever, right? Like, they do have ping effects, and while it is slow, it will eventually get us down, so we don't want to sit here for too long. Do you want to trade 1 for 1? You still have your ping effect if you do, so I think it's a decent trade on your side, but okay, decides not to, so we'll put up another one and we'll see. If they use a removal spell to get rid of this so that they can attack with both, that would be a big blowout. Okay. And they are. Okay, and it is going to be a big blowout. Untap. Block 1. We will trade with the other. This just keeps those pings from being detrimental. I assume it is a second color that they are waiting for, and I certainly can't, you know, I can't fault them for it since I'm doing the same thing. Play the Caracal. We'll play the 4-drop to get the first token there. First counter, sorry. And we will attack. Next turn we do have both, but then that's probably it, right? Like, that's what we're going to have on the board. He finally does get the blue. Okay. We can hold up to activation, right? But that doesn't get us anywhere. Spiders, neither are spiders. That's not going to matter. We get in and we just get another 3/2. Oh, counter. That's what I should have thought of. We could use the treasure token to sack the food, but since we have no cards in hand, no action, I think we'll have plenty of time to sack this food. And we will be activating this Caracal often. Okay. Removal spells are coming. We will attack. We will pump. Okay, that was a big hit. Opponent does need to do something. He obviously will do something this turn, whether it's a big creature or another removal spell. And it's going to depend on how many creatures we can attack with. Okay, 3/1 Flying Vigilance and Lifelink. Yep. That makes the attack more difficult. So, would we trade off here? What happens if we attack with everybody, right? So he blocks 1, goes to 11 life. These guys trade, and he takes 7. He takes 9. Yeah. Give him the option to block there, but he won't. But he could. He should block here. He knows that. So 5, 9. Yeah. He's going to survive this, but just barely. We're going to add another creature to the board, so if he just plays 1 blocker next turn, I do believe we will end up with it, but he does have quite a bit of mana. Maybe he's waiting for something with double blue, or he's looking to play 2 spells a turn like we were waiting, right? So, no shade to the opponent there. We were also pretty loose with a keep, so we had the 1 color. Let's see what he decides to do. I think it's a pretty easy block here on the creature that gives +1. Yep. Activate this. Play a second creature and end the turn. Not worried about this food token. We do have 2 of the 4/4s, 4 mana artifact creature that turns a non-artifact creature to a 3/3. So we will definitely keep this up. Only once per turn, but I can do it now, right? That'll blank that removal spell. Now you would think he would only have 1 blocker. He's at 2 life though. This is going to be a 1/3 unless we have something to pump it. But doesn't matter. He is done now on that. And we are back. Short bathroom break there, but didn't expect both of those first two games to go quite as long as they did. I thought with the more aggro slant of our deck, we would be going a little bit faster, but no problems, and we are back. This looks like a good Caracal on turn 2. Depending on if we need to pump or not, we have Lurking Lizards right after that, and then Favored Fighter to get the counter there. So we will go ahead and keep this. We will start with the tap land and be ready to go on turn 2. So Caracal it is. Let's see what my opponent does for their 3-drop. No blocker. So we will threaten activation. We will attack. They could have something, but nothing shows up. So let's see what they have here. It's a pigeon that must have just been drawn. We could hold up the activation in case this is +2/+2 at the point of missing 1 damage. I think it's worth it. Let's try. Okay, go ahead, create a treasure token and make the 4/4. Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, so we'll have to see what our opponent is looking to play. But that's a large creature here. No spiders for this creature to go ahead and make counters. But next turn we are going to be able to play a 4-drop and hold up this 2-drop to be able to untap something, or tap, actually to tap and untap something. I did not realize it was choose one or both. Not sure that makes a difference. Most of the time you're either attacking or blocking, and very rarely are you worried about both. So here's a time where we just attack him with everybody, right? We are probably going to, we would definitely pump if we needed to save our creature, kill their creature, but we're going to get 8 damage in here, and then just play a creature, play another creature, and just move on with this aggro plan, right? This way they can block here, take 6. I guess they're kind of guaranteed to block there, right? 1 creature is not going to do it, so let's go ahead and ship in, deal 6. We have the lizard. Not going to be surprise blocking anybody, but we'll go ahead. We'll play another 4/4. Now this tap becomes much more important than the untap, and so they'll need to do something quite large on this turn in order to survive to the next. Let's see what they are planning on doing. Again, no spiders, so we're not going to be throwing +1/+1 counters around yet. This will likely just be a straight attack. Okay. Gonna make their creatures that they already have big. 4/5 is going to be larger than anything that can get through. But remember, these can't be double blocked. And this is going to be tapped. So, let's see what we got. See if the opponent can do anything about this. Tap a target creature. We'll attack in, and opponent knows he can't deal with that much aggro coming at him. That is certainly much closer to what I assumed the deck was going to play out with all of the 2-drops. Hoping we can get a couple more games in that direction rather than the really long, drawn-out, grindy games. We don't have anything over 4 mana. Like, we don't have the bigger spells to be able to kind of clean up a late game. We have to be attacking very quickly. So let's see if the opponent has early creatures, early interactions. If not, this Caracal can do a lot of work. Okay. Connive almost always gets the first counter because you have so many cards in hand. You can discard a non-land and not hurt your game plan too much. Next turn we're gonna have to deal with the Death Touch because that's gonna be on the board for quite a while. No first strike to be had or anything like that, so I think we're just gonna have to run it in here. What we could do is we could play this. Is there any chance he blocks with that? I don't think so, right? We can give him the option. But otherwise, Death Touch, we're going to have to just wait until we get it off the board. Let's see what the opponent has. All swamps so far, so could this be another instance where the opponent is looking for a second color? If this is -3/-3, I do think I would save it. Yeah. But they consider using another one. Wow. Okay. Okay. Opponent's down to 2 cards in hand. And this is going to enter and turn that into a 3/3. Do I need to get the counter? No, I think I do it right now. Attacking with food. Food fight. Okay. Opponent is hovering over the card. Okay, another removal spell. No second color. Does it activate only as a sorcery? I think I just go ahead and do it right now, right? Too many lands being drawn. Opponent finally unlocks the rest. Okay. This is tough with this attack alone kind of thing. He's going to surveil 2 here and then 3 next turn. Okay. Our counters aren't going to keep pace with his counters. He is going to have to attack alone. This is going to be a 3/6. I mean, we are going to double block it. If he has a removal spell, if he has snapback, we're going to get blown out. But it is what we have to do here. Yeah, I just wish we had a little bit more power at the end. So 2 blocks. Is this a snapback? It looks like it might be. Not gonna go well for us if it is. Okay. Yep. Nine cards. It's gonna be tough. We'll keep this food token around in case we draw the other artifact that makes this a 3/3. Although, to be fair, we're not going to be able to attack. If we draw it, this would be a 4/5, and we could attack with just the lizard. But we're not going to be attacking with the food token anyway. We're really playing out to the board with this deck, and because we just don't have enough firepower, just drawing 1 card per turn, probably not going to get us there against even a modest board. Yep, so he takes 2 of our cards, and we just draw a land. Okay. Not looking good for us. He's got 5 mana. You know, you could take since this is play one of them, right? You could take a land and a spell, and then, right? You may play the exile cards. Oh, okay, you could play both of them. Sorry. 1 removal spell, and we're kind of back in it if he has nothing, but why would he have nothing? Yeah. Yep, that's it. That's enough of this game. We're not coming back from that. A bunch of removal spells, the +2/+2, and then the second removal spell. Yeah, still a good game. We are 3-1, jumping right into game number 4. Let's see how this one goes. We would love a really aggressive start. We'd love to be on the play. 3 lands, a bunch of 2-drops, and maybe one larger card to follow up with. But we'd love to get these caracals. I'd love 2 caracals on the board early. Just makes combat so difficult. Yeah, it's certainly a decent hand. Maybe not so aggressive early, although as I say it, the caracals come out. I will go ahead and play them. This could run into an early removal spell. They certainly could block and then waste my mana by making me pump. So when this attacks, other creatures would gain lifelink. You know what? I could play... No. I played this, but then he attacks in. No, I think I have to get this off the board. Unfortunately, aggro deck up against repeated lifelink and lifelink from multiple creatures. Not going to get us there. Here we favor fighter first. Do we try to attack in and offer the trade? Yeah, we offer it. Only one green. I think we play this right now. Working Lizards gets a little bit worse if we play this and then immediately go into viral node, but yep. Okay, we go 4. We could play a 2-drop and a 4-drop. Do we attack with the other 3/3? So we'll have back a 2/4 and a 3/3. 2/4 and a 3/3. So they're going to have something else, right? No, because if we use the treasure token, then there's no treasure token to animate. Okay. We could play the Lizard and the 2/3. A little bit of free damage there. Next turn we can play both and have the token, right? It will mean tapping this if we don't draw a land. We are only at 9. This will be attacking for 1, so a little bit tougher here. Do we double block? No. It means the pings start becoming important. Okay, he's going to put a 3/3 and then replay the City Pigeon. Make another food. So it's going to be a while till we can really get in there. Okay, a City Pigeon of our own. But we can make things larger. This is also birds. Or do we just play City Pigeon? Get a counter. Here we run in the 3/3, right? Because if we don't, it's not going to be a creature when we need it to be. They gain some life. Okay. They have 3 cards. They don't have great attacks here. They can sit back with the Enforcers, so eventually we have to go fast. Okay. Aggressive use of a removal spell. No spiders, though. Okay. We attack with a food token. Do we attack with this 3/5? Would we trade it for a 3/3 and 3/3? No. Let's just trade. Let's just offer this. Do they double block on the Caracal? I guess. They're gonna get a treasure. Okay, we have... Did they block there just so that we couldn't gain a life? That's a consideration. We'll go with the treasure token. Let's see what they do here. Mana available, so this could be -3, -3. No. There's no target, is there? Oh, there is. This is a spider. Okay. But it's a tap in order to do that. Do I want to hold this food token up? Yeah, I do. So... they ping one, do one, and then ping one again. Yeah. Okay. So I do need to hold this up. So this is 2 mana with the tap. So when they ping, I do need to sacrifice this. Okay. So I do need to get in there, right? So I need to send with this guy. Do I send with the treasure token? No, it's a 3/3, so it's not going to matter. Okay, this is going to take their ping up away. So they got a 1/1. Unless they have something to modify it, they have equipment. Oh, I was supposed to put this... I was supposed to surveil. Well, I might have taken this card anyway, right? I just don't have time for anything else. Do I put a +1/+1? No. I just attack with everything. 2, 5... 8, 10, 14. Opponent might have a removal spell. Destroy target attacking creature, something like that. They get rid of the 4/3. They take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kind of depends on what the opponent has in their deck. One, two, three. Yep. Let's see what we have. Yeah, not enough. Okay. Wow. Another one by the skin of our teeth. That's not what we wanted. We certainly wanted a more aggressive stance there, but we were able to deal with the flyers and move on to game number 6. The deck is performing pretty well. I think the lack of reach, the lack of spiders is kind of coming back to haunt us. I am glad that I did not take the 2 mana 2/2 that draws a card every time a spider enters. That was not going to be super effective in our deck, although in a deck that's more dedicated to spiders, it is a great card. Hopefully we can lean on Caracal. See what we end up with. We have the pump, we have mana, we have a removal, we have kind of a little bit of everything. This guy would definitely need the pump in order to get rid of him, because they usually don't mind chump blocking with this. We will see. They do not, so we'll go ahead and get a food token. This can activate that food token to attack, but then you do have to hold back the Caracal. Unless they send it, right? Like, it's a possibility. Put this back in our hand. Okay. So, is it the 3/3 and then we just attack him with a 3/3? Right? They can't attack without something else. Or it's Caracal and then, no. This has to be right. Okay. They need something. Now, it might be another Mana War, legendary, so it shouldn't be another Mana War. Five mana to transform. Okay. A removal spell, though. We could play Caracal and another one. Yeah. They're stuck on 3 mana. We don't want to expose Caracal as a blocker. That's something we don't want to do. Although we are going to have to get this off the battlefield now pretty quickly. Yeah. No blockers there. See what he has. We are going to try to race him. We do have a food token. holding them back, they can... Yeah, okay. Nope, not enough here. I guess we attack. Yep. Okay. Game 6 does not go our way. We are moving on to Game 7. I think this is 4-2 right now. So let's see what Game 7 brings us. A couple more wins would be great, but if it's not, it's not to be. Again, like I said, this deck does top out at 4 mana. Those powerful cards that just kind of are a little bit more swingy, we don't have them in favor of more of the aggressive cards, and so, you know, we're kind of at the mercy of the right third of the deck, right? We need the lands, we need the aggressive spells, and then a couple of things to follow up afterwards. No problem there. This is a part of the deck that we haven't seen too much. We haven't had Rhino's Rampage before. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Not the first creature you want to be playing by far, but you never know what you end up. It could be a Caracal and then they play something first main, and then... But we'll see what it is. We could just draw a card here if our opponent doesn't play anything. I think that's what we're going to do. Do we just go for the mana, right? They're on 4 mana. Okay. Beginning your end step, if 2 or more creatures entered, draw a card and... Okay. So assumption being that we will try and get rid of it, if possible. We shall see. Could we grow extra arms? It's possible. It's going to jump. We can tap it down, attack in, play a City Pigeon, and then we're getting in for just a little bit of damage though. That is a problem. Lots of food tokens, but not necessarily large creatures. It's gonna make this difficult. Four, 5, okay. Yeah, they'd have to attack. They'd have to attack in, right? +1/+0 and fights. So that would be losing to one of those creatures. We just attack with the bird. Let's see what we can do on our turn. We will crack one of those food tokens, I think. Okay. Makes a 3/3 on the ground. Problem is we'd be trading down. Let's see. It's going to be a 4/3. There's nothing we can do here, right? No, we can lose this guy, right? We can fight this first. Sorcery speed. Nothing we can do. Okay. Five. We don't want to attack in, right? Or maybe we do, right? They only have one card in hand. Is the one card bigger than a 4/4? Let's find out. Okay. Do they take the creature or the equipment? Because now we just need to draw any creature and it becomes big. But we do need to draw a creature, right? So that is not one of them. They have Surveil. Okay. They got rid of a get extra arms. They are looking for perfect creature for them. Draw another card. Okay. Land, thankfully, was not good on that extra draw. Here we go. I like this. This is 3 to equip. Okay. We will equip even though we can't attack this turn. We will send in with the... Yep. Send in with the 3/3. They chump block, which they know a 5/5 is coming next turn, so it's 8 damage. This is 2 turns worth of. It's 2 turns worth of life. He did put something in the bin. So we did draw 3 draws, 2 creatures, and 1 land, although this kind of is a perfect creature. Reach and Death Touch, so he'll want to kill one of them, but not both. I mean, he'll want to kill this, right? Because... yeah, so either way we attack with everything, but do we move this over, right? This would be 3, 6. We can't kill him this turn. But it incentivizes him with Death Touch to kill the Caracal so that we still get 2 bodies here. like he has to kill this one now. Because this also has the pump. No. No cards in hand. This pumps then. Yep. Okay. Good aggro style win there. We did need to top deck. We did need to top deck creatures for sure. Now we did get. Eventually, we ended up with 3 creatures out of 4 draws, but the first one was a farce. So while it certainly feels good that you had 3 out of 4, the first one was sweating it out for sure. We needed some top decks. The second one was able to give something pseudo haste and attack that very next turn where they had the 1/1. I think he was a little early on trump blocking there. I wonder if he should have taken that 3 damage and been ready to chump block the 5/5 the following turn. Maybe he buys himself a turn, but we will not find out. Hopefully Caracal on turn 2. A little bit more aggressive than what we got going on here, but this will work anyway. Get some mana. Make a food. See what our opponent has. We can get 1 counter here and then use this more as a trick. Yep. We still have a trick open now, which is really nice. It's kind of incentivized to attack. He doesn't know that leaving back is going to be not particularly great for him. Okay. So, do we tap? No, we're not going to do it on our turn. Get the spider. Get another counter. Attack with both. Have up +2/+2 in case they double block. Well, it can't double block here. This will be a 3/5. No reason for him to double block. Assume no blocks? Okay. Getting to the territory where both of these in the same turn would be really bad. Opponent would have to tap out or tap. They'd have to do something, but this is 5 mana, and we do have 5 mana, so we could tap something and pump something up by 6. Looking to see if we can eke out a free win here. Opponent would have to tap out. Yep. If he attacks with this flying creature, he's going to be in a world of hurt, right? So do we win? We put this guy in the air, we tap down the flyer. I think we do. Right? This grants flying. We give this guy flying, and we attack over, and then we pump him. Okay. So he has 1 white open. Can he make a blocker have flying? Okay. That also gained 2 life, so I guess he could He could have had it there and gave himself the 2 life so that he survives the attack. He would be at 2 though. We would be all out on the board. So overall, probably going to go our way. Okay, 6 and 2. Going into game 9 for the draft win, if we can get this here. I like the deck. I do think that the deck is kind of above average. This kind of looks like a 4 to 5 win deck to me. Maybe a little bit on the 5 win side if we get out the aggro half of our deck. But I would not call this kind of deck the deck that would win a draft. But we shall see. If we do, it'll be on Caracol's threat of activation. The Mana War villain becomes really interesting here. You can't make equipment into the 3/3. Conniving will probably get him a counter. Okay. Do we attack with both? Like, do we really want to get this off the battlefield that badly? It is trample, right? So we will be putting on damage while we do that. You know what we could do? We could kind of sneak this in there. Now it's a spider, but why would he block this one? Yeah, you're right. This will only block this guy. No food token or treasure token. I should have played this first, right? Got another counter. Now we have the treasure token. Okay, now this becomes a lot more interesting. He's aggressive. He's been attacking. If he plays a villain and stops attacking, he can do well for himself. He can play it out. Have a 5/5. I guess we want him to not attack because we can finally get this thing with grow extra arms. But attacking makes it... Why don't we just do this? What if we attack with everything? He eventually blocks the 2/2 on this. I don't even really think I mind that. I could grow extra arms. I could grow extra arms and sacrifice the I think I just want to get in there, right? Another treasure, okay. Now I play this, attack with 1 treasure, and have grow extra arms for whatever's left. Draw 3 cards. It's going to be almost his whole entire turn. Like, there's not a lot of choices on my side, right? Just attack with everything. Let's see what he blocks with. He blocks a 4/4, right? So this is 10, 13 damage. So this wins outright. 6, 10, 13. I'm not forgetting lifelink or anything like that? No. Okay. A little bit of combat math there at the end, trying to secure the victory. Very, very good performance from the deck. Maybe not as good of a performance on the pilot. Not used to these type of decks, but let's just double check and take a look at this deck. I do wish that I had some kind of splash to be able to get this second Surveil land in. The opponents that I had that were using the Surveil, I think I had one game where I could have used the Surveil and I ended up not using it. I think that would be something to push more damage in late game, where we're just kind of hoping for things off the top of the deck. Not quite enough removal, 1 fight spell, 1 piece of unconditional removal, and a sudden strike for conditional removal. These came in really handy to be able to give the token that it not generates, but it makes into a creature pseudo haste, and they can attack on the first turn. So overall, really good deck. Happy with the results, but not the type of deck that I would really love. Want a little bit more power in the late game. If you like content like this, please give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below, or subscribe to the channel. We love hearing comments. It really helps kind of move the direction of where the channel is trying to go as we are growing. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, in the pinned comment below, there is a link to an Amazon web store. If you visit that store and you purchase Magic or any other products, it's absolutely free to you. It's no cost, but it does bring a couple of percentages over to us to help support the channel. Until next time, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.